Okay, hello and welcome. We're about to start our live stream. Today we're going to talk about IELTS speaking questions of the current season, May through August 2021. I've actually launched the broadcast on YouTube and on vk.com group, but I'm going to answer questions on YouTube mostly. So if you're watching it on vk.com, it's better to switch to YouTube. I attached the link. I attached the link to the description on vk.com as well. So could you please put a plus in the chat box that you can see and hear the presentation? Okay, so that I could see that there are people watching. Okay, so here's the chat box. I'll put the plus. The description. Okay, so I can see. Okay, so the topics that we're going to cover today are IELTS speaking questions of the current season. So these are going to be questions for IELTS speaking part 1. And the first topic that we're going to deal with, that's wild animals. Well, I'm going to give you some advanced vocabulary and ideas that you can use to answer these questions. And I also encourage you to write your own ideas. So maybe you also have some nice ideas to share. Okay, from time to time, I'll be looking at the chat box and I'll be giving I'll be reading your commentaries and replying to them. So the first topic that appeared quite recently is called wild animals. So just a few notes. On On my channel, I sometimes give you sample answers, but mostly I give you advanced vocabulary and ideas. So I do not encourage you to memorize full answers. Well, first of all, it's impossible because in part 1, there are 30 topics. In part 2, there are 50 topics, and it's virtually impossible to memorize everything. Well, secondly, there might be some penalty for memorized answers. And thirdly, if you memorize something and then you forget one word, then, well, just your whole answer will be ruined. So what I recommend is to memorize advanced vocabulary and ideas which you can use to answer the questions. And then you can incorporate these ideas and these advanced words into your answers. Okay, so yes, Rustam, hello. Ivan, hello. Is primary school a current topic? Yes, exactly. This is the last topic that we're going to cover today. Okay, good. Let me have a look on vk.com if there are any commentaries too. So if you're watching on vk.com, I would recommend you to actually switch to YouTube, because I mostly answer questions on YouTube. So the first topic, okay, I can quickly show you the topics that we're going to cover today. That's wild animals, then holidays, festivals, environmental protection. Yeah, festivals, I mentioned this. Wallet, relax, car trip, and primary school. So these are the topics that we're going to cover today. All right, so about wild animals, can I ask you to write in the chat box wild animals that you know? So wild animals, that's like a topic, and you can use topical vocabulary. So if you know some rare wild animals, or more or less rare, I'll give you an example. So for example, wild boar, or which is pretty much the same. It's a hog. It's like a wild pig. Right? So if you know something like this, if you demonstrate that you know something like this at an exam, that's a plus for your lexical resource. Okay, and if you use some collocations like to care for animals, to be fond of animals, and so on, that's also a plus. Okay, so have you ever seen wild animals? So you can mention that you saw them, and here's a collocation, in the wild, or at the zoo. And if you mention the zoo, you can say that you saw them in a metal cage. Okay, right, or behind glass, right? Then you could say that you saw them in a forest, in the woods, but it's better if you mention something like, I saw them in the wilderness. It's pronounced wilderness, so it's almost like a desert, but still it can have some vegetation, and some animals can also live there. Okay, so Anna, hello. There is a delay of about 30 seconds, so from time to time I have a look at the commentaries. Yes, so while we are brainstorming ideas, you can also share any ideas if you have any. So we're brainstorming types of wild animals. So we need uncommon, less common, and uncommon lexical items. Okay, so right. Or you could say that you saw animals, let's say, in a wildlife sanctuary. That will also be nice expression, wildlife sanctuary. All right, and you can also say when you probably will want to say when this happened. Yeah, so that's where can we see wild animals? Probably these expressions are even more suitable for this second question. Okay. Now, have you ever seen wild animals? You can say, oh yes, it must have been around a year ago. Let's say it must have been around, or about, or approximately. And okay, a year ago, or you can even say a fortnight ago, rather than saying 2 weeks. You can say a fortnight as an uncommon lexical item and quite advanced grammar. And you can also describe what the animal was doing. So you could, maybe I saw, okay, here's another one, a seal or a walrus. It's just sea animal. So something like this, some kind of, or a polar bear was basking in sunshine. If it's the zoo, or if it's wildlife, you can say it was hunting, or it was chasing its prey. Prey is another animal that's the bigger animal is hunting. Okay, so let's have a look at your commentaries. No commentaries. Okay, on vk.com. All right. So then if it's, for example, in the zoo, in a cage, you can say the animal was lying on concrete floor, something like this. All right. So then, what's your favorite wild animal? There is also a topic, wild animal, in speaking part 2. If you decide to mention elephants, you can also, well, you can say that I admire the shape of the elephant, like and some parts of the elephant, like trunk, that's the the nose of the elephant, the long nose, or that you can see the tusks. So these are the long protruding teeth. So yeah, that would be nice, and you can say that they're cute and so on. Then you can mention something like a tiger and mention that this is a ferocious predator. Ferocious predator. Here's a good collocation for you. Yeah, or a giraffe, which is the tallest mammal on Earth, on the face of the planet Earth. Okay, and it looks awkward while reaching the ground for a drink. Okay, it spends most of its life standing up, and something like this. Okay, so the next one. Do you like watch? Do you like? If you have any ideas of your own, please mention them. Okay, so yes, it must have been around a fortnight ago when I went to a zoo. Okay, great. Yeah, that's a nice expression. A complex sentence with a modal verb with perfect infinitive, and also an uncommon lexical item. All right, good. So the next one is, do you like watching animals in the zoo? Well, and you can say, well, it helps me to unwind. So these expressions can be used about any type of relaxation. So unwind, or to recharge my batteries. Recharge my batteries. Or when I go to the zoo, it helps me to escape the hustle and bustle of a busy city, of a big city. The hustle and bustle. And it's very soothing, so it makes you calm. It's very soothing. Yes. So I can also collect my thoughts. Or you could say that actually I don't like, because it causes great suffering, and it's stress for captive animals. So here's another collocation for captive animals, if you talk about the zoo. All right. So is it important to let children know about animals? Probably yes. So it instills the values of responsibility in them, right? So They can express feelings of love, compassion, the feelings of love and compassion to animals. Right, or they can, let's say, feel empathy. Here's another expression. Now, is it important to protect animals? Yes, because we want to keep the biodiversity. Biodiversity. Or you want to ensure the diversity of the ecosystem. So you don't want these animals, the animals which are on the brink of extinction, so endangered species or species on the brink of extinction, or you can also say on the verge of extinction. On the brink or on the verge. You don't want these animals to become extinct. Yeah, I want to ensure their survival. Okay, so I like to observe animals in the wild, roaming freely without any captivation. Okay, that's good, and they are part of an ecosystem. Okay, that's good. So, all right, this is the topic. Again, there might be a delay of about 30 seconds, so maybe you will write something about this topic a bit later. And now we're moving on to the next one. So I'm just giving you some brief, well, some brief overview with some expressions. Yeah, so possibly later I will record more detailed videos about some or each of these topics. All right, the next topic, that's holidays. When you talk about holidays, there's a good collocation as a holiday destination. Holiday destination, right? Probably a tourist attraction or a touristic spot. Let's say touristic spot or a tourist attraction. If you know any other nice expressions, please write them in the commentaries. The question is, what public holiday? So these are public holiday. So the questions, they include both holidays as traveling, like vacation, and holidays as celebration. Okay, so describe your perfect holiday. What public holidays do you have in your country? So yeah. Well, you probably will just mention the New Year's Day, and there's actually a special video on New Year where you can borrow some ideas from there. So on this very YouTube channel. Then probably Christmas on the 7th of January. If you're from Russia, as I understand, not all the participants today are from Russia, so you can talk about your national holidays as well. Right, so then Women's Day, Labor Day, which commemorates the achievement of the labor movement. Then we also have Victory Day, and then you also just describe it, which is a celebration that celebrates the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany at the end of the Second World War. All right. Then maybe National Day on the 12th of June, which commemorates the formal adoption of the Declaration of Sovereignty of the Russian Federation. Okay, then which public holidays do you like the most? And here's a construction that you can use here. You can start with a cleft sentence. So what I like most is, or you could say the holiday or the celebration which I like most is the following. Okay, so can you describe your perfect holiday? So especially in Russia, we have holidays that last for 10 days when the whole country, well, or like most of the country, does not work for 10 days or longer. And it happens around twice a year. First time in January from the 1st till the 10th or something like this. And second time, it's in May, also from the 1st till the 10th, when the whole country does not work, which probably is hazardous for the economy, but people still can have a rest. Okay, so holiday makers, that's a good one. Do we have to list all holidays or just describe one? I think you don't need to provide the examiner with information like a list of holidays. You can take just a couple of holidays and describe them in more detail, each of them. Yeah, that would be the best approach. Remember, in part 1, you only have time for 2 or 3 sentences, so don't prepare a long monologue. Just a couple of holidays and describe each one until you're stopped and the next question is asked. So then your perfect holiday. So you can say, having been born in Russia, I can honestly say that a perfect holiday for me is one which lasts at least a fortnight. Yeah, something like this. And then you can mention that you like spending your holiday at a holiday resort. Yes, on a beach. And like, let's say, with my significant other or with my better half. Significant other or with my better half. Or just alone. So what you do on this holiday, you can like go for a walk, or you can say saunter, that's like walk in a relaxed manner, or you can or combine it with active rest when you go scuba diving or snorkeling, and you can enjoy pristine nature. Pristine nature. Okay. Right. Now, which do you prefer, to spend time on a beach or have excursions in a city? So you can say that, well, it depends, or it depends on my mood. It depends on how tired I am. It depends on the season. So, or then you can say, if you say that you prefer to spend time on a beach, because you can say it's a great opportunity, again, to unwind, to recharge my batteries, to breathe in some healthy sea air, or you can say to distress. So, or to reduce stress and induce sleep, to induce sleep. Okay, to calm down, to spend time in the sun, or yeah, here's a good one, to soak in the sun, which improves my sense of physical and emotional well-being. So physical and emotional well-being. Then what was the best holiday in your life? Then there are different types of holiday. You can choose one. Like there was a camping holiday when I was a teenager, an adventure holiday, a walking safari somewhere, a cruise trip, or a gastronomic tour, a fitness tour, or a road trip. So yeah, like, and so on. And then you can mention how you were traveling by car, by air, in a van, in a car, and who you were with. Again, so you can use these expressions like with my significant other, with my better half, with my nearest and dearest. Yeah, here's one more expression. If you have some other expressions, please write them in the chat box. With my nearest and dearest. Okay, so good. Now, the next topic is environmental protection. Actually, this is the topic that we're going to touch upon in our Patreon group. It's IELTS step-by-step preparation course. And our next topic is going to be environmental protection. So we're going to study this topic in detail. Yeah, but now just let's talk a little bit about this. So what can individuals do to protect our environment, and do you think you've done enough to protect the environment? So these are very similar things. So you can, let's also brainstorm here. You can also recycle something like recycle cans, paper, clothes, plastic bags, bottles, and so on. So you can try not to litter, not to drop litter, or not to litter. Yes, so take rubbish from the beach. Then reuse. Here's a good one. Like reuse, let's say carrier bags or plastic bags. Reuse plastic bags. Turn lights off when you are not in the room. Maybe you can grow your own vegetables, grow your own food. You can even give examples of some advanced, more or less advanced vocabulary items for vegetables. Grow your own food, like aubergines, or which they're also called eggplants, or maybe courgette, or something like lentils. Well, some words that not everybody knows. Yes. Then what can people do together to improve the local environment? So here's a good thing that, for example, they can organize a river cleanup event. Or you can mention the tradition of organizing Lenin Saturdays in Russia. So if you're from Russia, you can share a car ride with coworkers or neighbors. You can bike to work to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Yes, so reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So, and here's a good way for you to use some less common lexical items. You can mention, so you want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and you can mention these greenhouse gases actually. So that will be sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane. So these words are chemical terms that actually an average native speaker who studied at school basically knows these. Do I have a website? Yes, there is a website. Well, you can join my vk.com group. Probably this is the best. I will spell this here. There it is. And there is Instagram, but I don't use it. I mean, I don't update it very much right now, but there is also an Instagram. And there is also a website of my online course. Yeah, these are my main 3 websites. Okay, so Telegram, no, I don't use Telegram. So the next one, what can people do together to improve the local environment? So again, the ideas are quite similar, but it's about local environment. So they can, if it's local environment, probably you can plant a lot of trees, such as, again, you can mention some types of trees also. like birch trees, oak trees, junipers, fir, so there can be both deciduous and coniferous trees, like maple and so on. So mention the types of trees that you know. Actually, I always recommend my students to memorize maybe 2 or 3 names of trees, and you can just mention them when you're talking about a walk in the park, for example. Right, so I was sauntering in the park, and I was surrounded by trees like, and I say like oaks, maples, junipers, and pine trees. So, well, that increases your lexical resource score just a little. Okay, so what should be done to protect the environment? Basically, the ideas are well, pretty much the same. So you can, let's say, promote international cooperation, or oblige people who are engaged in polluting activities to make some progressive environmental improvements, to fund and support, let's say, here's a good one, fund and support renewable energies. Here's a good one, renewable energy. So, and here, like, you can say wind, like the installation of wind turbines or solar panels and other things that are possible. So what is the importance of environmental education? Actually, these 3 questions are very similar. So what is the importance of environmental education? Is it important to teach students environmental protection in school? Do you think it's necessary to make environmental protection as a subject? Okay, let's start with the last one. So if you want to make it a subject, and sometimes you have such essay topics also, like, should something become a compulsory subject at school? So here are some synonyms for you for compulsory. You can say so compulsory, mandatory, or obligatory. So it helps you to paraphrase, and you can use actually all these 3 words in your answer if you are asked the last question. So why is it important? Because it, here's a good expression. So it imparts knowledge about, the current situation and future prospects of nature, or connects individual to the world around them, enables individuals to explore environmental issues, Okay, good. So, all right, if you have any other commentaries, any other ideas, any topical vocabulary, lexical items, please write them in the chat box. I'll have a look on vk.com. Maybe somebody is writing something, but even if somebody is writing something, I probably cannot see that. Okay, I will just, yeah, if you're watching on vk.com, I would encourage you to move on to YouTube, because yeah, most people are watching on YouTube. Yeah, I don't see any commentaries on vk.com. So yeah, the next one is festivals. So celebrations and festivals, they are very similar topics. Now, so talking about festivals, you can mention different types of festival, like street food festival, music festival, dance festival, film festival, beer, water festival, let's say a carnival is a good expression. Then when you're talking about festivals, some people wear traditional attires or garments, which are synonym for clothes, costumes, clothes. They might even you might even mention embroidery also, ornamental designs. Yeah. So, and when you celebrate a national festival, it creates a sense of belonging. Here's another good expression: a sense of belonging. So, what is the most popular festival in your country? So, what would you answer? Which festival is the most popular in your country? So, I would say, well, I come from St. Petersburg, and I would probably mention that there's a Korushka festival. In English, Korushka, that's a type of fish. I'm afraid not every native speaker knows it. So that's smelt festival. Yeah, smelt, like the verb smell, smelled, smelt. It's also, this is a type of fish, like smelt festival. And well, but I think it's too uncommon, right? Now let's brainstorm this. What would you answer? Like whichever country you're from, what is the most popular festival in your country? Maybe you will want to mention the New Year. Yeah. So, and what is your favorite festival? You can also it can be the same, and then you can say that it has that special hook to bring in visitors. To bring in visitors. Right, it creates a special atmosphere in the city. It's great fun. It's a great way to discover something. It brings a lot of joy and excitement. It makes people approachable and friendly, so you can talk to people in the street, which you don't normally do. Yeah, and things like that. Diwali. Okay, and which country is this from? The Diwali festival. Is it India or which festival is this? So then, is it important to celebrate national festivals? Now, whenever the examiner asks you, is it important? Here is a chance for you to demonstrate your lexical resource that you know some synonyms for important. Well, I do not recommend to repeat this word important because there are so many more or less advanced synonyms. Like you can say vital, significant, paramount, and so on. So is it important to celebrate? We can say, oh, it is of the paramount importance. It is of the utmost importance, and so on, right? So it's an essential part of traditional culture, or it plays a pivotal role in the life of my city, my country, or whatever. Right. Oh, it's a way to learn about history and so on. Or you could even say that it's a waste of money because the costs for organizing such events are exorbitant. It costs a pretty penny to run a festival. Exorbitant, or you could say extortionate prices or extortionate costs. And just because of this pecuniary aspect, pecuniary means financial. I believe that the government should not shell out. And here's like to shell out means to spend a lot of money, to shell out or to fork out on such events. Right. So what's the difference between your traditional festivals and Western festivals? Well, maybe you're from a Western country, but if you're not, then you could also say that well, our traditional festivals, they celebrate, let's say, religious occasions or historical and political events. So historical and political events. And if you're talking about Christmas or Easter, then they celebrate religious occasions. So, and common features of our festivals are outdoor concerts or fireworks. You could also mention this. So, are there any other ideas? What's the difference between, if you're from Russia, like traditional Russian festivals or festivals from another country, and Western festivals? Okay, so Diwali is the most renowned festival in my country. People do loads of shopping and get discounts in shops. Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, then, so how do people celebrate public holidays in your country? So in Russia, they probably drink vodka, but yeah, it's not necessary to mention this. So they get together with their nearest and dearest. We also already mentioned them. They have a barbecue party, and remember last Saturday, if you didn't watch this live stream, you can see you can watch it. So you can mention a barbecue party and some vocabulary for this, like skewers. These are the sticks on which you cook barbecue. Then you can mention types of meat, like marble beef or venison that you use to cook. Even if it's not true, you can just mention rare types of meat. Then some people, they book a table at a restaurant, or they rent a yacht. Yeah, it's in Russia, it's quite a common tradition for ordinary citizens to rent a yacht and to travel by sea around the world. Yeah, you can also say, like, you fill a day with special outings. And if you talk about New Year, it's well worth a mention that the vast majority of Russians celebrate New Year in Turkey. Of course, it's a joke because Turkey is too small to, to have all Russians or most Russians in this country for the New Year period. All right, so then what special food and activities do you have for these festivals? Let's also brainstorm that. Well, maybe you could mention the Russian salad and then describe what it's made of. Russian salad, if that's olivier, if you're talking about New Year, or if you're talking about like this, if you mentioned religious holidays, you can mention an Easter cake, for example, and things like that. So how do people in your country celebrate the New Year? Yeah, so the vast majority of Russians, they celebrate New Year in Turkey. And so again, there is a special video on New Year on this channel, so you can watch it. And let's say when you describe, so before the stroke of midnight, a lot of Russians, they turn on TV and listen to, I hope this video won't be deleted, but they listen to President Putin's speech before the, what are they called? And they also listen to Kremlin chimes. So this clock on the red square is called the chimes. So that's a nice one. Right, or people dress colorfully and they indulge in fun-filled activities. Again, you can find all this vocabulary in this special topic about New Year. It's a topic that is still in use, and like about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, I recorded a special video about New Year. So I will not deal with this too much right now. Indulge in fun-filled activities. Okay, how do you celebrate the New Year? Well, it's the same. Like from one of my students, I heard a tradition which I actually never I've never come across this myself, but people take a piece of paper, they write their wishes for the new year, then they burn these papers, they put them into a glass of champagne, and after this they drink all this. So well, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's true, but probably some people do. Do young people in your country like to celebrate foreign festivals? Yeah, well, maybe you can be positive about it, and you can say, well, it's a chance for them to learn more about other cultures, or let's say it broadens their horizons. Or you can say that, well, I don't like it. It's true, but I don't like it because this is a type of cultural invasion. Depending on how patriotic you are. Yeah, or it undermines traditional culture. Yeah, so it's a kind of a blind worship. Blind worship of Western things, and this threatens the preservation of our own traditional. So threatens the preservation. Threatens the preservation of our own traditional festivals or traditional culture. Okay. Then the next topic that is used this season, that's a new topic that has been reported. That's wallet. Okay, let's see if there are any other commentaries. No, I don't see. I don't see any new commentaries. So about wallet. So wallet is a type of an accessory. You can mention. So you always carry it around. So there's a phrasal verb, carry around. And there is also a collocation, a wallet loser. It's a person who loses his or her wallet. All right. So do you use a wallet? Well, I think most people do. So you can just say, well, I can't imagine my life without it. Or you could say that nowadays you always use, what are they called? A contactless payment. Yeah. And so you don't need a wallet. You don't need cash. You don't need to use cash in the modern world. So you use contactless payment systems. Right. Then a wallet, contactless. What's wrong? Contactless. Yeah. So this. I believe I spelled it correctly, but I don't know why it's underlined. So yeah. Then it's a great accessory that is part of my image. Yes. Then a wallet can also be understood as a handbag, probably. So do most of your friends use wallets? And they, for example, well, some of them do, while some of them do, but I can also say that some of them don't like to carry around a bulky wallet all the time. Then have you ever lost your wallet? You can here's a way of saying this. You can use present continuous in quite an unusual function. When it's you can say, I'm always losing my wallet. It means it happens all the time, and you're even a little bit irritated. That's a possible way. Or it only takes a second to lose a wallet forever. So and once it fell out of my jacket full of money. Right, but or you can say that I use a gadget to keep track of my wallet and other valuable things, or I'm not a wallet loser by any means, or I can't recall any case when I lost my wallet. And then, yeah, have you ever given a wallet to someone as a gift? Well, let's say, well, yes, because if it's an expensive wallet, it can be a very nice status symbol, or a symbol of wealth and success. Or you could say, I never give any presents to anybody, just money. And it's one of the few essential accessories. Essential accessories that is just as much about function as about style. All right. So can we say about handbag? Yes, you can. You can, even if you understand wallet as a thing for money, then you can just say, I carry it in a bag, right? In a bigger bag. So you can certainly mention that. Okay, relax. What do you do to relax? Of course, sleeping, there are different ways of sleeping, and you can mention like take a nap, or take a cat nap. There's another one. Or maybe I do some yoga, go to the gym, or work out at the gym. I do some yoga, do some stretching exercises. Go to the beach, take a day off work, whatever, whichever. Do you think doing sports is a good way to relax? So it's a good way to, let's say, to relieve stress, to gain some endorphins, or to reduce depression. It improves the quality of your sleep, decreases tension. And do you think vacation is a good time to relax? Well, yes, it enables me to, well, usually you don't sleep enough when you have to wake up early, when you have to wake up at the crack of dawn, but then they can say, I can catch up on my sleep, or it lowers anxiety. Or it ensures a healthier work-life balance. Right. So do you think students need more relaxing times? Maybe yes, we can either answer yes or no, or it depends on the person. So, well, maybe good mental health is essential to good learning. So, yeah, or regular relaxation can help improve students' concentration, general health and well-being, right? Or you can say, if you relax, it promotes positive thinking. Okay, so if you have any ideas for this, please also include them please write them in the chat box. Okay, I don't see any commentaries. Right, let's then move on to the next topic. a car trip. There was a topic, a long journey by. I like traveling by. There was a topic, a long trip by car, a long journey by car, and so what you can do to prepare for this topic, maybe you could mention some parts of the car. Let's look at the questions, and maybe there are some parts of the car that you can mention here. Okay. Anyway, so why do you like traveling by car? So, well, because obviously it's very convenient. So you can change the direction at any time. You can travel at your own pace. And so it offers you, okay, you can say not only does it provide you with flexibility, but it's also very reliable. So you can just mention this flexibility and reliability. What is the farthest place you have traveled by car? So you can say all across Russia. Yeah. There was a person who I heard about who traveled from Moscow to Vladivostok by taxi. So yeah. Or you could say I traveled by blah blah car to another country. Yeah. Or yeah, just to another part of my country or something like this. And then the drive took me a few days. Having arrived at my final destination, I was really exhausted, but it was definitely worth it. So something like this. Do you like to sit in front or back when traveling by car? So you can say, well, I like to sit in the front because, let's say, I can keep my eyes on the road, and this prevents me from experiencing nausea when you're car sick. Yeah. Or I like to sit at the back because I like napping while traveling. It's more comfortable to nap in the back, and I can do whatever I want without distracting the driver. So yeah. Then the next one, when do you travel by car? That's when the distance is too long, and car is by far the fastest way to get to my destination. So when the distance is long. And car is by far the fastest way to get to my final destination. Now, when I have a lot of things with me, or when it's the cheapest way to travel, or when it turns out to be the cheapest way to travel. Okay. Yeah, there's a relaxation, not help, but helps me to unwind and recharge my, not battery, but batteries. Recharge my batteries is a set expression, which is used like, and use batteries in plural. Okay, relaxation helps me to unwind and to recharge my batteries. Instead of helps, you can also say it enables me to unwind and to recharge my batteries. Okay, good. So, and the final topic that we're going to deal with today, that's primary school. So when you talk about primary school, you learn the basics, right? And there is a good expression, the 3 R's of education. 3 R's of education, that's reading, writing, and arithmetics. Well, writing does not start with R, it starts with a W, but in pronunciation that's R. So it sounds quite funny because it's not R actually, but it sounds. So reading, writing, arithmetics. There was a mayor of London a couple of centuries ago who was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. And once he proposed a toast and he said, let's drink for the 3 R's of education, because he was impressed that all the 3 main subjects, reading, writing, and arithmetics, start with an R. They don't, but still. What did you like to do most when you were in primary school? Yeah, I really liked learning some or playing some rhyming games or learning some nursery rhymes, like some rhymes for children, or I really liked being engaged in outdoor learning activities. So things like that. If you liked anything else, please include this in your answer. So how did you go to your primary school? Well, you could say, because my school was, and you can say, in close proximity to my house, in close proximity, or within immediate vicinity of my house, means near. So these 2 expressions can be used to describe maps, by the way, if you're planning to take academic writing task 1. So when something is near, you can say it's in close proximity to or within the immediate vicinity of. And then in speaking, you can also say that only in speaking, because it's informal. So school was within the spitting distance of my house. Or it was a stone's throw away. So it was near, and that's why it only took me, well, a negligible 5 minutes to get there. Right, or yeah. Then, how do you like your primary school? Well, it was, we had, let's say, fully equipped classrooms for this time. And it was a pleasure. So then maybe you can describe your primary school or elementary school teacher. We had a positive school culture, and our teacher was, not only was our teacher friendly, but she was also experienced, because she used some advanced teaching methods, and you can say a few words about this. And then, what did you do in your leisure time in your primary school? Okay, so, well, probably you can mention that you spent time in the yard. And like, what do children do in the yard? There are several things, like there is a seesaw, there can be swing or slide. So you can play using those things, or a sandbox. Yeah. Or you can also say that I helped my parents do some household chores. Help my parents with household chores. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please, or if you have any other commentaries, please write them in the chat box. So Yeah, I like to sit in the front seat. Seat should be spelled like in the front seat if it's a noun, and keep watch on driver to see the drive doesn't. Yeah, and just grammar. And I like to sit in the front and keep watching the driver to see or to make sure that the driver doesn't fall asleep. Okay, then my primary school was a stone throw away. So I tend to go by walking, or I used to go on foot. That you can also say. Then, if my memory serves me right, if my memory serves me right, in my free time at school, I used to make a lot of noise. Yeah. Also, when you talk about your primary school, there's a good construction. So you can say used to. I used to do something. So don't just use past simple. And if it was repeated action in the past, I would always go to the yard to play in the like to play with my friends. So these are two more grammar structures that you can use. All right. So well, so thank you all for participation, and I hope to see you in the next live stream.